Hello guys, how is it going? Please let me know if you could hear me. Okay, I think you can hear me. Great, 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 great. Okay guys, so this is the start of our camp. I'm gonna give you some explanation at the beginning about the things that we're gonna do. And let me also send it to the Telegram channel that it is started so that everyone are gonna be aware of it. So, uh, guys, this camp that we are having, I actually want it to be very, very impactful. I believe that's what we are doing right now. If you just come with me, you can easily bring your rating to the next level. And by the way, I came back from the university very quickly because I didn't have charger. I was running out of charger and I didn't have charger, so I had to come back home very quickly. In order to have it, I want it to be even better than the live streams that we had so far. That's why I try to have less interruptions and be able to move on all the topics that we want to go. I'm gonna show you how to solve problems basically. Oh my god, I love lagging. That's the worst news that I could hear. Let's okay. Can you hear me now? Well, I changed my internet. I'm now connected to my phone instead. I hope that that resolves lagging. Yes, it seems like the stream is lagging, unfortunately. I hope that it gets better. Please give me some feedback about how is it right now. Is it better or is it worse? Can you hear me? Okay, so probably as we start talking about the problems, it's gonna be easier to, get along with that since it's gonna be less about face and things that we have on the screen and it gets better. Anyway, so let me get back to what I was talking about. So basically, we want that in this bootcamp, decrease the interruptions and everything, and just focus on the problems. Basically, the problems that we're gonna solve. Uh, I want you that each day that when we solve problems, I want you guys that try to accept all those problems till our next day. This way, you're gonna be in front of so many different problems that you can see many different topics, and definitely your rating can jump up by doing so. Okay, so if that's okay, we can start talking about the problems. I tried my phone now. I don't know, something is cursed with home. Last time when I had my stream on home, it was like it too. I hope that's okay. It's good if sound is clear. That's the main thing that we wanna ensure. And once I come here to screen share, it gets definitely better. You will feel it less. Okay, guys, if you are ready, I think if everyone who wanted to join have joined already as well. If you want, let me pause these ones as well and make their quality minimum possible so that it uses the least possible amount of possible bandwidth. Okay, so guys, let's start. I want you to fully understand the solution of all these problems that we want to discuss. And I'm pretty sure that it's going to be very fun for you guys. It's going to be so fun. We're going to solve a lot of interesting problems and you're going to feel wowed by many of the problems. And that's actually the nice thing that I really like myself. So let's start talking about the problems. So, guys, the first problem that we want to talk about today is not this one, I guess. Let me see. Uh, yes, it's this one. The first problem, guys, that we want to discuss is this one, blocks 1271b. Let me send it to you guys in both of these. Yes, you can definitely talk about your doubts here. No, this camp also, everything that we say about it will be stored in YouTube as well so that people in the future can use it too. So the first problem that we're going to discuss, guys, is this one. It says that there are, be very, I mean, be very, listen to me carefully so that I want to ensure that you understand it very well. And then if after the live stream, right after the live stream, we start implementing these ones, I'm pretty sure. I told you a lot that's what to do to increase your rating. Now we are doing it together, actually. And you will feel it. I mean, at the end, I'm going to ask the results of this camp from you. Okay. I want that thing that I'm going to ask you, when I'm going to ask you that how much your rating increased, I want that number to be really high. So we are aiming for that. And I'm pretty sure we can do it really well. So let's talk about the first problem, blocks. It says that there are n blocks arranged in a row and numbered from left to right, starting from 1. And each of the blocks is either black or white. And you can do this operation 0 or more times that you can choose adjacent blocks and invert their colors. White becomes black and black becomes white. So you use two adjacent blocks and invert the colors of both. You don't swap them, you invert each one. So if it's black, black, it turns to white, white. You want to find a sequence of operations such that they make all the blocks having the same color. You don't have to minimize the number of operations, but it should not exceed 3n. If it is impossible to find such a sequence of operations, you need to report it. Okay, so you are given some blocks. Each of them is either black or white. You can each time choose two consecutive ones. Invert their colors. And at the end, you want all the colors be the same in at most 3n operations. You have to either give an answer for it, I mean, give a way for it, or you have to say that it's impossible. Welcome, Aura. Nice to see you. And because of your suggestion, we added sign up button. That was because of your suggestion. Oh, you received this problem on your coding interview. That's interesting. So let's talk about it now. And I hope that the lagging is less disturbing now. I really hope this. I mean, let me know. I mean, give me some feedback about that. So this problem, guys, the first thing that I want to say is the statement clear. If the statement is clear, please put a plus in the chat. If the statement is clear, please put a plus in here or in here. I forgot to fix this plus issue though in the chats in our chats. And by the way, guys, if you come to our chats, it would be better. I try to make that place more engaging. Okay, so I guess it's fine. So guys, basically, the first thing that I want to say is that when it is impossible to turn all of the blocks the same color, well, the first thing that comes to my mind when seeing such a problem is this. I mean, I want to tell you about my thinking process. What comes to my mind at the first thing? When we change the colors of two consecutive blocks, how does the number of white blocks change? Do you agree that it either decreases by two, or it does not change, or it will increase by two? I mean, one of these three things happen. Either it won't change, or it will decrease by two if both of them were white and now they are turning to black, or increase by two. So the first thing that comes to my mind is that the parity of the number of whites and blacks does not change. That's the first thing, because I've seen this pattern in many problems that is about parity. So the first thing is that when I see this, we see that when we change the color of two consecutive blocks, definitely the total parity of the number of black blocks does not change. The number of white blocks does not change as well. Right? So that's the first thing that comes to our minds by looking at this problem. Yes, I will tell you about this, but uh, I will talk you about that. No, the internet in the US is not slow. The internet at my place is slow for some reason that I don't understand. It's cursed here recently. Uh, so the first thing that I say is that if we have odd whites and odd blacks, it's impossible to make any of these two zero. Because we have odd whites, they always remain odd. And we have odd blacks, so they always remain odd as well. So it's impossible to make both of them zero. So if you look at the examples, for example, in this example, we have one white and three blacks. You can see that whatever you do, you will always have odd whites and odd blacks. So because of that, I think I'm talking too loudly because I have my AirPods on. So I should probably talk a bit less loud. Uh, they always remain odd. So it's impossible that any of them turn to zero and the other color takes the whole part. So in this case, it's impossible. The answer is negative one. Do you agree with it so far? If you agree again, please put a plus. Or if you do not, if it is not totally clear, put a minus. And again, guys, it would be better if you come to our website, to our community, and comment there. That would be better. Probably after a while, we won't have chats on YouTube as well, because it's really challenging to switch between things. And as you see, it has issues with the slow internet connection in the US as well. So, good. So, first of all, this case is impossible. But now assume that one of them is even. For example, assume that even number of whites. We have even whites, for example. Without loss of generality, assume that we have even whites. Then I say that I can make the number of whites zero. How? I can start from the beginning and go forward. Start from the beginning and go forward. Whenever I saw a white cell, I can choose that cell and the cell next to it, right after it, not the cell before. I do this for each element from each block from 1 to n minus 1. I cannot do it for n. For any element, I go forward, any element that I see that it's white, I will change the color of that one and the next one. And then I will go to the next one. If that one was not white, then again I will change that one and the one after that. I will go forward. At the end of this process, the first n minus 1 cells are gonna all become black. So let me give you an example. Assume that you have, for example, white, 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 black, white. I'm gonna start from the beginning. Whenever I saw a white, I will change the color of that one and the one next to it. The first place I see a white, so I will change this to, and it would be black, black. I come to the second place and I see that it's black, so I don't do anything. Then I go to the next one, I see that this is white, so I will change this to, this one turns to black, this one turns to white. And then I come to n minus 1. I see it's white, I will change these two so these two become black. Now everything from 1 to n minus 1 will turn into black. Now I argue that when everything from 1 to n minus 1 is black, the last one automatically will become black. Why? Because assume that it is white. Then it means that we have only one white. But we said that the parity of the whites will not change. And we had even number of whites at the beginning. So that's impossible. So when the first n minus 1 ones are black, definitely the last one will automatically be black. So easily I can say that if from any of the colors I have even one of them, I can simply turn all of them to the other color. I can start from the beginning. Whenever I saw that color, I will change that cell and the cell after that. And that's going to be all for the solution of this problem. If it's clear, please put a plus. Otherwise, put a minus. In this type of question, generally the first idea is like check even and odd. I have seen this pattern. Yes, exactly. The whole idea is that you see these problems. I mean, guys, increasing rating is about seeing so many problems and accepting so many problems. And it's not only about uh, listening to them. It's about definitely. It's also about doing accepting those problems as well. Because when you accept, it will be in your head. I mean, you fully understand it when you accept it. The problem that's not accepted is not useful. Yeah, I'm really sorry for lagging. I will make sure that I'll have the streams in the university from the next time. I really don't know what is going wrong with the network. It was not like this. I mean, we've had live streams before here, didn't we? I don't know. Probably didn't. I don't know what's going on. Why you can't access the website? That's weird. Is the solution that I told you clear or not? It's really sad that it's lagging. But I hope that at least you understood the solution. But whether it's low rated problems or less are, I believe that the most useful is the problems around your rating, your current rating. Yes, yes, yes. And post discussion, guys, I'm gonna put a post again in the community that any questions you have or anything, I'm gonna answer them there. So if no one has any questions, I can move on to the next problem. Let me also create the post from now as well. Post camp, post session discussion. Let me experts camp session 1. Ask any questions or discuss about this session. Discuss this session. Okay, so I'm gonna post it, and anything that you comes to your mind that you want to ask about it or anything, even if uh, you are watching this after the live stream is done, you can come to here and ask your questions. Okay, so let's move on to the next problem if no one has any questions about this one. And this is the discussion. I'm gonna talk about the next problem if there are no issues with this problem. So, okay, let's move on to the next problem if this one is okay. Guys, and by the way, is the internet connection better from when I switched to mobile network or is it worse now compared to before? Exactly, we select the array from 0 to n minus 1. Exactly, yes. If both of them we add odd of them, that's if from both of them we have odd of them, that's not possible. Otherwise, the one that is even, we go from 0 to n minus 1, we keep deleting them. It works. Good. Okay. So let's move on to the next problem. The next problem is 1931D, divisible pairs. It says that Polycarp has two different integers, x and y. They can be equal. And he has found an array A of length n. And Polycarp considers a pair of indices I and j beautiful if ai plus aj is divisible by x and ai minus aj is divisible by y. You are given this array and you have to say that how many beautiful pairs do we have. Okay. And the pairs are ordered. So basically from the beginning, we have this array a1, a2 to an. And we say that a pair of numbers is good if and only if like I and j is good, if ai plus aj is divisible by x and ai minus aj is divisible by y. This is one of the math problems that you can see. And this is also a type of problem that you see a lot in the contests. So guys, first of all, I'm going to play with it a little bit. So first of all, I say that if ai minus aj is going to be divisible by y, it means that ai and aj must have the same value modulo y. Okay, so modulo y, they should be equal. And if ai plus aj is divisible by x, it means that ai modulo x should be equal to x minus aj. Okay, so I write it this way. And then when I write it this way, I can simply start from the beginning and I can keep a map. I can keep a map from pair of int and ints to ints and just counts that, okay, this is what I'm looking for, right? I want to see that how many elements before this are there such that x minus aj is, aj. Basically, let's say that, we can also replace these two. We can also say that x minus ai modulo x is xj. Both works. If for all the previous j's, I have kept for them what is aj modulo y, and I have kept that what is x minus aj modulo x. If I have kept these two values, x minus aj, the whole thing modulo x. Then in here, if I increase the CNT of this pair, then in here I can just say that ANS plus equal to CNT of AI modulo X and AI modulo Y. CNT of AI modulo X, AI modulo Y. So when I just write the formula, you know that what exactly do I want from the previous numbers. And when I know what exactly do I want from the previous numbers, then I can just have a map and store them, store whatever I want. Okay, I know that ai modulo x should be equal to x minus aj modulo x, x minus aj modulo x, to be more precise. And ai modulo y should be equal to aj modulo y. So if I store these values, I can just simply, and I have to replace, swap these two to be more precise. This is the first, this is the second. Anyway, in my map, I can store these values, and then in here, I can simply see that how many of those do we have. And that's going to be all. Is it also clear? I think it would be good if you give some time to think about the solution. If there's a time contest, I'm totally understand that. Well, basically, in these sessions, we never, guys, let me tell you something very important. That's very important, and we have discussed it with so many people as well. First of all, you never run out of problems, so don't worry about that. You never run out of problems. Don't feel like if I hear the solution of these problems, then I cannot think about them later and I run out of problems. There are always problems. And in this session, we are trying to, I mean, basically, this is a class to explain stuff. So that's why we are just explaining how many different type of problems will be solved. But definitely in the training, the problems that I add for you in the training, the problems that are in here, you should think about them. But in the problems that I'm telling you right now, this is just explaining. I'm just teaching you stuff using the problems. So that's why we do this. You can never train like this. Okay? You have to completely understand the things that we are saying here and try to use them and accept these problems so that you get completely familiar with these things. And then after that, when you did this, there will be a lot of problems that then you have to think about those problems and see that what effect did this have to you. So don't worry about it. I mean, just come with me. I mean, just trust me, come with me, and please do the stuff that I'm telling you. And at the end, be sure that you will see that your rating will increase a lot. I mean, we're going to have a survey at the end and see that what happened to your rating. Exactly. Exactly. You are learning concepts here. And then afterwards on other problems, you're gonna have use these concepts. How to improve math I struggle. Guys, again, I have this post so that you can ask any questions if you want in there, and we're gonna discuss it post our session. Okay, guys. So if it's clear, if you have no questions about it, I will move on to the next problem, and I hope that the lag issue has gotten better. Okay. So if that's the case, then let's move on to the next problem. The next problem, guys, that we want to solve is this one. Get an even string. Yes, sure. Thank you. Yes, I will explain it once again. The previous problem, divisible pairs, we say that AI plus AJ should be divisible by X, AI minus AJ should be divisible by 5. So AI modulo X should be equal to, these two should be equal. X minus AJ modulo X, and the whole thing modulo X once again. And AI modulo Y should be equal to AJ modulo Y. So I know that what exactly I want from Y. I know that from AJ. I know that's what exactly I want from AJ. For each element that you go on top of it, just store these two values. Just store AX minus AJ modulo X and AJ modulo Y. And for example, have a map. In this map, add one to the map of pair of these two. And then at the end, you will say that ans plus equal to, I mean, for each element, when you reach them, you can say ans plus equal to map of AI modulo X and AI modulo Y. That's all about this one. Is that clear? That's really bad. I mean, we have so many good problems and good things to discuss, but unfortunately, because of the lagging issue, the stream is getting affected. That's really bad. How did we come up with this again? How did we come up with this? We basically played with these mathematic formulas. AI plus AJ is divisible by X. So what does it mean? It means that, for example, assume that X is 7. Then if AI modulo X is 2, AJ modulo X should be 5, should be 7 minus 2. So whatever AI modulo X is, AJ should be the rest of it, the part that remains from it. That's why it's X minus aj. And if I minus aj is divisible by y, it means that ai modulo y is equal to aj modulo y. Does it make sense now? Are you installing the face cam and sharing only the screen as this would resolve the lagging issue? Yes, probably. Probably. I added the links here. The links are here. Let me stop the whole webcam thing and just share the screen to you guys. Let's just share the screen. Hopefully it gets better. Okay. I hope that the lagging issue will get better this way. So, shall we move on to the next problem? Okay, let's move on to the next problem now. I sent you its link once, it's in the chat. It says that we have a string a equal to a1, a2 to an, and it is called even if it consists of a concatenation of strings of length 2 consisting of the same characters. So it means that we call a string even if and only if its length is even, and for all odd I, we have ai equal to a of I plus 1 satisfied. Okay, we have ai equal to ai plus 1 satisfied. For example, these strings are even. TT because these two are equal. AABB because these two are equal, these two are equal. So it should consist of pairs of equal characters after each other. Okay. Now, we say that about these questions, again, ask in this blog post that we designed for post-contest discussion. We say that we have a string S and we want to remove the minimum characters from S to make it even. And the deleted characters do not have to be consecutive. So what can we do for it? Well, guys, the first thing that you should know is that deleting minimum number of characters from a string means keeping the maximum number of characters. By the way, guys, if the statement is not clear, let me know. By the way, if the statement is not clear, let me know. Yeah, I mean, what do you mean? Please try it. I'm doing it, I guess, right now. So, if it's not clear, if the statement is not clear, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to talk about its solution. So, basically, in here, we say that we want to remove the minimum number of characters. Removing the minimum number of characters means to keep the maximum number of characters. So it's like we want to choose a subsequence here that has the maximum length, and each two consecutive elements, I mean, they are paired 2 by 2. I mean, the first two characters are the same, the next two characters are the same, the next two characters are the same, and so on. Okay, that's what we want, right? So what can we do? What can we say for this? Guys, I say that consider the first prefix that has two equal characters. This problem uses a greedy approach. This is another aspect of the problems that you will see in Codeforces. This is another very important topic, and we want to cover it, talk about it in this problem. And we're gonna see that how we should approach greedy solutions. Because sometimes you do greedy on a problem that is not greedy and your solution is wrong. How we should make sure that our solution makes sense and is correct. We're gonna see it on this problem. Consider the minimum prefix that its length is, the minimum prefix that it has two equal characters. This is the first place that we can make a match, right? Our first match can be at, I mean, the best, it can be here. The best match can be these two elements. And after that, the rest of the problem will be in the suffix. Now, what I say is that it definitely makes sense to make a pair the first time that you can make it. It definitely makes sense to make a pair definitely when you first can make it, because as soon that you don't, I want to show that it doesn't make sense that you don't. As soon as you don't, you make two other pairs, and this other pair is built later. Then after the first two characters, you're gonna be left with fewer characters, which is not definitely better. Okay, it's either the same or worse. So it's definitely the best to match the characters in the first place that you can. So this is the greedy approach, and we showed that it's not, I mean, it's not optimal to do anything other than this, because okay, assume that two other things are matched. If you match these two, then you have to solve the rest of the problem in here. But if you match these two, then you have to solve the rest of the problem in here, which is definitely at least as good. So what we can say is that just start from the beginning. Whenever you saw a pair, just match those two and add those two to your answer. And how can you do that? You can, for example, keep a counter of how many times you've seen each of the characters. And whenever you saw a character, if you've seen one from it before, then just pair these two and reset all of the characters. So we have a CNT of length 26. It can be a Boolean too, because it can be only 0 and 1. It never turns to 2, because when it turns to 2, you instantly make it 0 again. So when you saw a character like C, if C was there before, if we already have this C, we match these two, and then two C's will be added to our final answer. And then we make the CNT of everything 0, because nothing from here can be used anymore. Otherwise, if CNT of C was not 1, if it was 0, we just make it 1. So that maybe in the future we are going to use it, and it will be matched with something. So that's the whole thing. You will have a 4 each time when you see a character. If it wasn't there before, you will add 1 to it. Otherwise, you will match it with the previous one, and that's it. How you feel about this problem? OMG, where have you been, bro? This is the main channel. We also started a community. We also started a big, great community that we are going to do really great things there. If you have A, B, B, okay, in here, first I see two A's here. So first I match these two A's. And then I see two B's here, I'll match these two B's. And then I see D, it won't be matched with anything, A won't be matched with anything, B won't be matched with anything. And then D in here can be matched with something, so it will be matched with this D. And then this C cannot be matched with anything yet. And then when this C comes, these two match. And yes, at the end, this A, this B, and the C after that, the C at the end will be removed. If it's completely clear, please put a plus. Awesome. And I saw that you asked that why pluses turn into dots. That's a bug, definitely. We're gonna fix it. Okay, so I'm gonna repeat it. Guys, we wanna remove the minimum number of characters, right? Removing the minimum number of characters means keeping the maximum number of them. Okay. And when you want to keep the maximum number of them, we can do a greedy approach. We can start from the beginning. Consider the first time, the first place that you see two occurrences of some character. Then we can just match these two. Because why not matching it? If the first pair that you're going to match are going to be two other characters, then definitely you make your first pair later. And that's going to be worse for you, because you will be left with a smaller array at the end. So the first place that you can make a pair, you will make the pair. There's no reason to wait. And then it gives us a greedy solution. We keep track of which characters we've seen so far. And based on that, whenever we see a character, if we've seen it so far before, we just match it with that. Otherwise, we just keep track of that we didn't uh, keep track of that we saw one of these. Well, again, it does not display error. It just goes back to homepage. Might be, but yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, definitely report it. Report anything. As you see, the website is changing each day and it's growing very fast. So yes, these things happen. I mean, each day you see that new things are added. So we'll definitely work on all that. Understood the solution, but how to implement? Implementation is super easy too. I mean, for example, in here, if you want to implement it, I can even implement it right now. If it helps, maybe it's not bad if I implement one of the problems so that you see it. If the quality wouldn't be bad, std c++.h using namespace std int of main. So we have an int of t, c in t minus c in t, sorry, while t minus minus. Each time we will get a string s. Where was I? Each time we will get a string s, and we say c in s. So I will define int of cnt26, and I, for example, use memsets to make it 0 at the beginning. Size of cnt. And then I will have a for I from 0, I less than s dot size, I plus plus. I say that if cnt of si minus a, should it just write answer? Yes. Yes. So I will write an keep an answer here. I'll keep it 0 at the beginning. At the end, I should see out s dot size minus ans, because ans is the number of elements that will remain, but we have to output the number of elements that will remove. If cnt of si minus a, it means that we already have seen this character before. In that case, let me zoom in. In that case, we will say ans plus equal to 2, memset cnt 0, size of cnt. Otherwise, cnt of si minus a, either plus plus or equal to 1, because it definitely is 0. And that's it. I used to do this a lot, that without compilation, I would submit a problem. Let's see if I still can get accept without compiling. At least it passed the first sample. That means that we had no compilation error, etc., and it got accepted. So we just start from the beginning. We keep a cnt if cnt of si minus a and plus equal to 2 mem set cnt 0. So as of cnt, we reset everything. Otherwise, we say cnt of si minus a plus plus. And that's it. Is it totally clear? You are moving fast. Yeah, I always move fast. You should always be fast. That's the main. That's the biggest lesson you can learn in life. You should always go fast. Okay, awesome. If it's clear, then let's move on to the next problem. Now it's crystal clear. Awesome. And guys, so far, let me ask you a question. How was it? How was the uh, bootcamp so far? The first thing is that this stupid lagging issue, I know that it might ruin it. It might ruin your experience. But it's great that you care about learning so much that even though it might be on nerve, but you are still watching it. It will definitely be fixed tomorrow. I will definitely not have the stream here tomorrow. But I want to know your opinion, basically. How you feel. Why do we have this Codeforces logo right now here? Okay, let's keep it, but there's no need for Codeforces logo right now. We are not solving a contest. سلام. Give me some feedback about how it's going so that if you feel like it would be better to make some change, we can change it online. We're so fast. So we adapt very fast. I mean, in the middle of the first camp, we make changes. Bootcamp is awesome. Camp is going great. Awesome. Great. Yes. I'm picking the best problems that helps you to reach experts. That if, guys, I really want you to accept all of the problems we discussed till tomorrow. I really want you that. If you really want your rating to be increased, all the problems that I'm going to talk today, you have to accept it till tomorrow. That's the way. It's going to be every day. No, there's no need to register. Uh, it's, I don't know why you can't access the website. It's really weird for me. Does anyone else have the same issue? We will go topic wise as well, but right now the topic is to get to expert. For getting to expert, you don't need to go to topics wise. The worst thing is to go topic wise for experts. After that, definitely. But for experts, just problem solving, guys. Just problem solving. Just make sure you accept all these problems, please. I want to see the growth in your rating. I want everyone who was in this camp, at the end of this camp, at least your rating goes up by 100 in a few days. Okay. Yeah, tomorrow is a holiday, but doesn't matter much. But probably it makes some issues. I'm gonna let you know if at some day I couldn't do it. But yeah, other than that. So everything good with the camp so far? Okay, how to differentiate between greedy BS and DP. Guys, because we don't want both because we don't want to waste time in the during the camp, because as I said, I want it to be very efficient, very fast, very good. I added this both because of that and because to make the community more engaging. Any question that you have, ask it in here in the blog post that we have for this, and then I'm gonna answer them there after the bootcamp session. Read about the invariance. Sometimes it's easy to find the invariant, but difficult to use it to solve problem. Yes, definitely. I will talk about that as well in the discussion, sir. I will put them in the websites. I will put it in the same post. Okay. So, okay, let's move on to the next problem now. Let's not wasting any time. Next problem, getting zero. It says that suppose you have an integer v in one operation, you can either set v equal to v plus 1 modulo 32,768 or set v equal to 2 times v modulo 32,768. You are given any integers a1, a2 to a, and what is the minimum number of operations you need to make each ai equal to 0. What is the first thing that comes to your mind? The first thing that comes to your mind should be that, what the hell is this number? Okay. This should be a famous number, right? So the first thing that you will do, if in the first sight you cannot understand what is this number, in that case, you will just copy and paste it to Google, and it will tell you that this number is 2 to the power of 15. So if you were hesitating, you can just copy and paste on Google, and it will just tell you that what it is. So, but by the way, if you have solved so many problems by looking at it, it's obvious that it's 2 to the power of 15. I mean, you have seen it before. Anyway, the main point in this problem is that this is 2 to the power of 15. And when the number is 2 to the power of 15, you can always make a number 0. How? By keep multiplying it by 2. If you keep multiplying your number by 2, at some point, if you keep multiplying a number by 2 15 times, after that, this number will be definitely divisible by 2 to the 15. So for each number, we need at most 15 operations. So see how easy it became with just clearly looking at the fact that each of these numbers are 2 to the power of 15. We clearly got to the fact that all of these are basically, all of these values are basically with 15 operations, they can turn into zero. Let me check if you had any questions. Yes, okay, sure. I will add them to the block. I will also add them to the problems. Guys, if you have not registered in the problems, that is one of the first things that I really recommend to you to do. I'm adding the best problems here in the problems section. I really recommend to you and it has beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels. I definitely suggest you to join there. And I will add these problems there too. So yes, basically that's the point. You have to try to find, yeah, exactly the clues. And after solving so many problems, your mind itself will lead you to solve those clues, to find the meaning of those clues. I mean, right now it's not, for example, hard for me to, when I see this, realize that, okay, it's 2 to the power of 15. It's 2 to the power of something when you see that. I mean, and basically all of these things give you the vibe because this is 2 times v. You reach this state when you solve a lot of problems. And that's why solving a lot of problems is super important. If you read all of the blogs about algorithms, different algorithms, etc., you do not get this skill. When you solve so many problems, you get this skill. So that's the first thing that you should fully understand. Guys, don't go to learn different algorithms, different topics. Just be with me, see the solutions to these problems, accept these problems till our next session tomorrow, accept all of them, and then you're gonna be in great shape to increase your rating. So far we said that, okay, each number at most by multiplying 15 times by 2, they will become 0. Now the question is that if for a number, we can turn it into 0 with less than 15 operations. I mean by using v plus 1. What do you think we can say next? The next thing that, guys, we can say is that we have two type of operations. Operation number 1 and operation number 2. A lot of times you can see some fact about the order of these operations. Like what? Like in here, you can do first all the operations of type 1 and then operations of type 2. Definitely, it's optimal that you do all the operation 1s before operation 2s. Why is so? Because assume that you first, I mean, you have one way that's first you add 1 to V and then multiply that by 2. But if you first multiply it by 2, then you have to, in order to do the same thing, you have to add by 1 twice. But if you were adding this one before, then you could just add it once before multiplying by 2. You might say that, okay, but maybe we just need to add it once. Maybe we do not need to add it twice. But that never happens. It never happens that you want to only add once. Because if you add once and then again multiply, if you have, definitely, if you have two consecutive ones after a 2, that's definitely not optimal. If you have multiplied by 2 and then plus 1 and then plus 1, because you could, instead of these 2, have a plus 1 before this. But you might say that, okay, what if I have a times 2 and then a plus 1 and then again a times 2? That also never happens. Why? Because this way, if you look at the binary representation of the number, it's like by multiplying 2, you're adding a 0 to the end of it. By adding 1, you're turning this 0 to 1. And then by multiplying to 2, you are shifting once again. So you just introduce the 1 into your number. You never want to introduce 1. You want all the last 15 bits to become 0. It doesn't make sense to introduce 1. Why did you add this 1? Why you didn't let it be 0? So that also doesn't make sense. So the final thing is that, guys, it's always useful to first do v plus 1, all the operations of v plus 1, and then multiply by 2. Is it clear so far? Is everything that we said clear so far? So this is a pattern that happens a lot too. that when we have two operations, two type of operations, a lot of times it makes sense. There's an order a lot of times that you can say. There's a fact that you can say that, okay, the order should be this way. Let me see how the stream is going. Okay, it's not showing me very well. Okay. So what will be the answer then? I will talk about that. ARPA also gave some same advice not to learn hard algorithms first, but solve problems. Yeah, everybody say the same thing. Yeah, that's right. So if there's anything not clear so far, let me know. Maybe make the odd even by adding one. Okay, you're not making odd even. Why? Because we just said that your previous operation was multiplying by 2. I'm saying that we never add 1 after multiplying by 2. Yes, before multiplying by 2 is possible, but after multiplying by 2, this is definitely even. By adding 1, you're making it odd. That doesn't make sense. That's the point. Is it crystal clear? I would have thought that doing second operation first is optimal because it is multiplying by 2. Yeah, because the second operation is more powerful. You might think like maybe it's better to do that first, but it's vice versa because you want to do your more powerful thing to have effect on those plus ones as well. Not only effect on the original number, but you want to have plus ones first so that when you are multiplying by 2, those plus ones will be multiplied by 2 as well. This way you have more effect. And since we said that our answer is at most 15, our problem becomes an easy brute force. You can say that, okay, how many times do you want to add 1? You have a 4 from 0 to 15. That's how many times you want to add 1. And then your number will be a plus I. And then you can see that how many times you need to multiply this number by 2. Why it becomes like this. Then you can see that how many times you need to multiply this number by 2 so that the last 15 bits of it become 0. And that's a pretty simple thing. I mean, you can see that how many zeros do you have at the end? It's going to be 15 minus that. So basically, you have a 4 on how many ones to add. And then after that, you can see that how many times you have to multiply this number by 2. And that's going to be all. So for each number, you will easily do this. Let me show you the code very quickly as well. Problem B, getting 0. Let me show you a C++ code. So if you take a look at it, he has said that initially answer is equal to 15, and then he has a 4 on J that says that how many times this you're adding 1 to this number, and K says that how many times after that you will multiply by 2. And then he says that if X plus J times 2 to the power of K, this is 2 to the power of K, 1 shifted by K, this is 2 to the power of K, the way to write 2 to the power of K. If this number modulo 2 to the power of 15 was 0, you say ans equal to minimum of ans and J plus K. Because ans is at most 15 and all the operations number ones come before operation number twos, he just brute forced on how many operation ones do you have, how many operation twos do you have. And operation ones are before operation twos. So your number will be x plus j times 2 to the k. If this wasn't 0 modulo 2 to the 15, then definitely this is what you want, and you can say that as mean equal to j plus k. Is this clear? I have done, okay, I read that. If it is clear, please again put a plus. If it is not, put a minus in the chat. And guys, also let me know how is the lagging going. Let me see you a little bit. Let you see me so that you see that I'm still alive, by the way. And I'm here. It's not my avatar talking to you. And guys, by the way, if you are, please answer this question as well. What is your goal by learning competitive programming or programming in general? Please, in our community, uh, I saw that there were a lot of interesting answers to the questions. So if you're watching this, I would love to see that. So what is your answer to this? What is your goal by learning competitive programming? It helps us to know each other better and then plan accordingly too. Anyway, let's get back to what we were talking about. Plus, no lag, awesome. Maybe make the odd even. Okay, I read that. Maybe other implementation. What do you mean? Maybe other implementation. Can you add these problems? I will add these problems to this post. To this post. Where is it? This post. We just take 15 as the number is 2 to the 50. Yeah, we just take 15 at the beginning at the answer because 15, we are sure that with 15 times multiplying by 2, we have the answer. And then we search for better answers and we see that if we can achieve better answers. If it was, then it is great. Awesome. So that's this one. If it's completely okay. Another accepted submission. Why was it not clear? I think other people have done the same thing. Yeah, this guy has done the same thing too. He has said that answer is equal to 15, and then he has a 4 on everything else. This is also the same thing. Let me. Oh my god, this is a very non-interesting way of doing it. He has made a graph out of it, and then he has a DFS. He has a BFS from 0. If I understood it correctly. So he's solving it with graph. That's a very hard way to solve this. It's definitely an overkill. Awesome. Oh my god, it's lagging now. Why I see it in 2 places around? It's interesting. Maybe you are the one who's making it lagging. I mean, you're creating traffic. Graph and the BFS on it. Damn. Yes, exactly. That was overkill for this problem. Okay, let's move on to the next problem now. Selection of personnel. This is also an important problem that I want to discuss and talk about something important on it. This problem, guys, is this. It says that we have a company of ITC. We have a company that has decided to create a group of development teams of size 5 to 7 people. We have n people. You have to say that how many ways do we have to do that? So basically, in simple words, it gives you n people and it asks you how many ways are there to choose either 5 or 6 or 7 people out of them. The answer, if you know combination, is easily n choose 5 plus n choose 6 plus n choose 7. And in this problem, possibly with just multiplying these numbers, that can be easily calculated. But I want to talk about the implementation of combination because that's super important. I want to talk to you about how we can implement combination. Guys, are you guys familiar with combination? If you are familiar, please put a plus. Actually, you're on mobile, on YouTube, on PC, on Repovive. Great. You want to fully understand it, I guess. So you watch it from 2 places. You don't miss anything. Yes, entries are, exactly. Okay, so you're familiar with combination. That's good. So now I want to talk about how that can be calculated. Guys, in this problem, maybe even without this, we can accept it. But I chose this problem to talk about this matter with you. This is a very important thing that you need to learn. Guys, in general, n choose k is equal to n choose k minus 1, n minus 1 choose k minus 1, plus n minus 1 choose k. Why? Can anyone say why? Why is n choose k equal to n minus 1 choose k minus 1 plus n minus 1 choose k? I would love to see a response from you guys. Great problems like that. Yeah, that's the whole point. Choosing the best problems for the camp. Then I will give you some blogs that you can read about it as well. Let me, the Wikipedia page always gives you the initial ideas that you need. Pick any particular, what? Oh, yeah. I got it. This is the right, exactly. That's exactly the right solution. You can check it out later. Yes, you can check that out later too. Yes, that's also a good source to see that what combination is. In here, you can see that combinatorics, this topic stream. Anyway, so yes, I want to talk about the proof of this. That was totally right. Assume that we have n people and we want to choose k people. In how many ways? Assume that, for example, these are us. Okay. This is me, for example. This is, for example, Auron. This is, let me let me bring some name, Pratik, Abhinav, Hassan, and Parth. So these are the other guys and the rest of the guys who are watching right now. Assume that we want to choose a team of K people out of us. And this is me. The first one, for example, this is me. In how many teams will I be included? Well, we want to choose a team of K people out of N people. So I can say that, okay, the number of ways that I will be included in the team will be equal to the ways that, okay, I'm on the team, and from the other N minus 1 people, K minus 1 of them should be on the team. So in N minus 1, choose K minus 1 ways, I'm going to be on the team. In how many ways I'm not going to be on the team, those ways are the ways that you have to choose all the K people out of the other N minus 1 people. So it's going to be N minus 1 choose K. So there is N minus 1 choose K minus 1 ways that I'm on the team, and there's N minus 1 choose K ways that I'm not on the team. So the total number of ways is the sum of these two, definitely, because these two together will be all the cases. So N choose K will be the sum of these two. Is it clear completely? Yeah. I mean, you can, yeah, choose it, use it on some samples. 5 choose 3 is 10. 4 choose 2 is 6. 4 choose 3 is 4. 10 is equal to 6 plus 4. Great. Awesome. That's great to hear. Okay, so that's a very important thing, and it helps us a lot in calculating combinations. Why? We can define an array, a two-dimensional array C of I and J, that will help you to find out that in how many ways. I mean, what is I choose J? And basically, you can easily, with dynamic programming, calculate this combination. So you can say that C of I and J, this array C of I and J, will be equal to C of I minus 1 and J plus C of I minus 1 and J minus 1. Plus C of I minus 1 and J minus 1. And this way, easily with a two-dimensional array, you can calculate the combinations. I want to show you my code as well. This is the code I wrote in 2016, around 10 years ago. Can you believe it? So what I do is this. In the pre-process, I have a for. First of all, C of I and 0 is 1, always. I choose 0 is 1. We have to have a base case. I could write it in here too. I didn't another for. In this for, I could say that C of I and 0 is 1. C of I and I is 1 as well. So I choose 0 is 1. I choose I is also 1. So basically, the main point is that we have some base case, and then we have a for j from 1, j less than I, j plus plus, c of I and j will be equal to c of I minus 1 and j plus c of I minus 1 and j minus 1. This way, combinations will be easily calculated, and then you can use it as you want. You can see in n and c of n and 5, c of n and 6, c of n and 7. That's all. Why did I come here? Is it clear? If it's clear, please put a plus. Yes, this is DP. DP is basically solving a problem using solving sub problems using each other. I mean, we have a sub problem. We use other sub problems to solve that. In order to solve C of I and J, I'm using C of I minus 1 and J and C of I minus 1 and J minus 1. So it's a DP. Yes, this is DP. Exactly. If it's clear, please put a plus. It's the best way to implement combination when n squared is an acceptable solution. If the complexity of n squared is okay, it's the best way. For example, in here, n is up to 1,000. We can do n squared. So yes, in that case, it's the best way. Sometimes n is more than that. N is up to, for example, 10 to the 6th or so. In those cases, you have to use Fermat, which is more advanced, and I've talked about it before in the topic streams. Okay, guys, awesome. Let me see. Yeah, it can be done this way as well. It can be done this way as well with the direct formula of combination. That's right. That's why I said that without this, you can do it as well. But the main points of choosing this problem and talking about it was to talk about this way of using DP. In many problems, those ways won't be possible. For example, you cannot calculate C of 100 and, for example, 500 very easily that way. I think you're explaining that we did a DP. You don't know it's DP, just combination. Yes, just combinatorics concept. Yeah. Okay, guys, great. So that's basically it. But for the first session of our bootcamp, I want you to come with great energy tomorrow as well, so that we can continue our sessions. But before that, I'm gonna add that the problems in the blog as well. Maybe I can add it right now at the same time that I'm listening to your feedbacks. So I want you to tell me how was the bootcamp, the first session of it, and rate it out of 10. And if it was, it did, if it's did a good job in doing your based on your expectations or not. Let me, at the same time, I'm adding the problems in here. Let me maybe show you the screen while I'm adding them. So that's it. That's 5 problems that we discussed today. Guys, I really want all of you to accept all of these problems. I'm going to add it to the problems as well, not only in this blog, but I'm also going to have it in the problems as well. I definitely highly recommend you to join the problems. I mean, I'm going to add a roadmap too, because I know that a lot of you gets much benefit from having a roadmap to how to learn competitive programming, what to learn one by one. This good time camp was awesome. Loved watching how GM approaches problems of my level. By the way, how many tentative sessions are planned in this camp? Um, I'm planning that. I mean, I want to have a intense camp. For maybe it can be like 5 sessions. And at the end of these 5 sessions, I believe that if you come with me, you can see a great growth in your rating. I'm pretty sure of that. And I actually want to see a report of what happened to you guys at the end of it. It was a great bootcamp, had great questions, great explanation. Thank you very much. Great ways of solving problems. Great that you liked it. At the halfway, it was very interesting for how long the bootcamp. I think it's can be for 5 days. After that, we're gonna have the next bootcamp. So we're gonna talk about it. What you want to talk about, what you want to do. Sounds all good, but the screen share was lagging in between. Yes, I know that. I will definitely fix the lag for tomorrow. And thank you so much for the heart. Can I be expert if I join the bootcamp and I join full sessions? Definitely. Yeah, I mean, that's the main point. You will definitely be. And I see the day that you're writing yourself in here that I became experts. I mean, I'm pretty sure of that. If you just come with me, I can promise you in front of everyone that you will write it here. I mean, that's something that we can verify later. Great. Yeah, I can also post the questions beforehand. I can post them, for example, in the problem section that you can think about them beforehand. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I try to make up for the lagging issue with the quality of the problems, but from tomorrow, I mean, we should learn from the issues that we have, and definitely for tomorrow, we will make that good as well. There shouldn't be any issues. Great. So I can watch learning is a great teacher. Sure. And yeah, guys, it would be great if you can invite others to join the next days of bootcamp as well, because we want to do something amazing, and definitely it's going to be great if more and more people are going to be there. I mean, 100 people is twice as good as 50 people, because that effect will be given to 100 people. Do you think you can bring someone else to the next session that we have tomorrow? I mean, is it really something that you would recommend to someone? Do you think that it is useful for people, for other people? Definitely, I will also add lead codes. Sure. Give us a task like read about some topic or watch your previous. Yes, sure. Sure, we'll do that too. These are great suggestions. Thank you so much for giving the suggestions. I always keep track of all these suggestions. Yes, 10 others. Yes, sure. If guys, you really liked the camp and you think that it would be really, really helpful for others, I that would be great if you invite some other people to attend the camp tomorrow as well. So if this is something that you find, something that you can recommend to other people, I would love to see that you do it. This way we can make our movements bigger and actually more impactful. So thank you so much if you can do that. I think that would be great. Amazing. Okay. So again, make sure that you will accept the problems till tomorrow until our next session. Providing problem before the session will be a good approach for us to think before coming to the session. Yes, sure, sure. I totally agree with that. The boot camp is very inviting. I'm in energy. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm so glad that you liked it. Going to watch Shoulder Parvosa. Interesting. I don't know what it is. And you wrote it both places. Yes, hopefully tomorrow it's gonna be at the same time. Hopefully. I mean, maybe a little bit sooner or later, but around the same time. Maybe, for example, half an hour or 15 minutes earlier or later. Sure, sure thing. That's a very good suggestion. I mean, thank you very much for sharing your suggestions. I mean, it's super helpful. I mean, if you really want to do something amazing, something that would really help you out, something that really fills the gap that you guys are facing, and would be something that you say that, okay, this made my life better. Definitely, your suggestions are the best things that can help us to achieve that state. Thank you, guys. So, see you tomorrow. Sure. So,